very excited to be here with you. This is really a historic module in the sense that I have been in this field for almost 40 years and worked with clients all over the world. The Credit Institute is the first, what I call first line institute, representing members that have line roles in companies, that has decided that it makes sense to provide training to its members on how to think through, using a structured approach, the likelihood that they're going to achieve their key objectives in a credit function.
We're also going to put in a peer review form just to say, so-and-so contributed more than other people, etc. Something we do at the university just to make sure that people who put the extra effort in get rewarded.
The Journal of Accounting and Finance published an article basically about the Arthur Andersen auditors and what happened and who got charged in terms of licensing. To summarize, 10 people were basically implicated. 3 partners were directly implicated, and they lost their licenses for life as a result of it. And the teams that worked underneath them were not charged for many reasons. Their involvement wasn't as deep. Very similar to what Sonia is saying, is it depends on how far and how much work you are performing in that particular area.
Because I was working for PricewaterhouseCoopers at the time, and I remember dealing with a whole bunch of ex-Arthur Andersen accountants and CPAs. And they said, even though they weren't involved at all, that reputation damage followed them in their career. But not only does it affect you, but it can also affect your entire profession.
What would you do if your manager asked you to complete a questionable task? I find that it's difficult if you've been told to do something that you may either question or you disagree with, but we have bills to pay. We don't want to lose our jobs. What do we do?
Risk management tools rely on historical relationships and data. And with the current levels of economic, geopolitical, and climate uncertainty, through the research, do you feel these historic relationships are breaking down? And are the tools providing reliable indications of risk?
During the 8 weeks of course, through the collaborative assignment and through the work groups that we had during our lectures, information about myself that I think I managed to pass to my colleagues was that I have a long experience in management in different kind of work environments.
After going through the 8 modules and having multiple discussions with my team members in the lead up to this presentation, it's clear to me that openness to continue learning from my personal, professional relationships and experiences, it's critical to ongoing development. As a young leader coming into the workforce, it was kind of surprising to me working with older adults and expecting them just to know everything off the hop, and that's obviously not the case. I mean, we all continue growing and learning throughout our time in the workforce and experiencing life. Looking towards the future, I expect I may be starting a new job in the new year, and I hope to start fresh from Module 1, just learning, getting an understanding of the new stakeholders that I'm going to be working with and how to provide value to them in my new role, and I think that's really going to be key to my future success.
The question that I have for this team is really based on the circumstances this company found itself in, not at its founding, but after the M&A. Organizational change is extremely daunting. It's and often people at a very high strategic level fail to take into account a lot of what's going to affect people at lower levels in the company. And so we get to see things like missteps in communication, as you described earlier.
I wouldn't be surprised if professional organizations like the Credit Institute of Canada will be asked to put in, in the future, policy procedures, thinking about these kind of wider emerging issues.
The topic itself is brilliant. Like, this is a very timely thing. We're at the start of it taking off, I'm sure. So AI, the interest in AI is huge. And one of the recommendations was a course. And to me, this is absolutely where we should go. Customers are companies and corporations, but they're run by consumers. And everybody out there, I think I can speak for almost everyone, they want answers 24/7. Their people are smarter, they're more vocal, there's social media. Globalization, I'm sure many of us are affected by globalization. Companies they're interacting with companies around the world now, whereas before that was crazy. Everyone's looking for benchmarks, everyone's looking for easy button And I believe that that all companies are going to start comparing. They'll look at things like Amazon and their return policy and their processes and say, well, why can't my company, or why can't that company or this supplier do this? So I think this is a really big topic. We're at the early stages, and there should be a course covering every single facet of the credit function